Okay, so we said ozone in the stratosphere is our friend. We said why? Because it's blocking dangerous ultraviolet radiation, ultraviolet C and ultraviolet B. And so what happens is we had said that the ozone is produced by interactions with sunlight. And so what happens is it's being produced. Now, what's interesting is, and you may not know this, I didn't know it honestly until I started teaching this class, that the Earth orbits the sun, and in the process of orbiting the sun, it's a year. It takes it a year to make its way around the sun. But did you know it's not a circular orbit, it's an elliptical orbit. So January 3rd, so elliptical means like an egg, kind of egg shaped. So January 3rd is when the Earth is closest to the sun, and July 7th is when it's the furthest away. So we have the interactions there with the atmosphere, with this ultraviolet radiation is producing, and other radiation is producing the ozone that is protecting us. Now, they have a way of measuring it. So you might wonder, how on earth do we know the concentration of ozone that is up 15,000 to 30,000 meters up? 15 kilometers to 30 kilometers up. That's where we have most of the ozone. And you might wonder, well, how do we do that? How do we measure that? And the way you measure it is you measure it sort of like a column of air straight up. And what you do is you measure how much ultraviolet radiation is making its way down to the Earth. And what they use is something called the Dobson unit. And so the Dobson unit, the less ultraviolet radiation that's making its way down to Earth, low amounts of ultraviolet radiation mean high amounts of ozone. And high amounts of radiation making it to the ground mean low amounts of ozone. So what is normal? Well, what's normal at the equator, you end up having 250 to 270, that's sort of the average Dobson units at the equatorial portions of the Earth. Now, as you move further and further away from the equator towards the poles, North and South Pole, you end up having higher concentrations of ozone, and so higher Dobson units, and so they are 300 to 400 Dobson units. Now, there's this phenomenon that has been occurring for the last 40 years or something like that in the South Pole, where we're losing our ozone, and we have what we call the ozone hole. And so what is the hole? What it actually means is it means less than a critical value of ozone. And by definition, it's anything below 220 Dobson units. And so we've been having this every summer at the South Pole, and the lowest numbers are below 100 Dobson units. So now the question is, what is going on? Why the ozone hole? Prevent the ozone hole. I forget, your book has some weird saying in there. But anyway, it's important because it helps prevent skin cancers and protect life on Earth.